We keep on moving, we keep on moving along, we keep on rolling. No, we ain't slowing it down. We keep on moving, we keep on moving along, we keep on rolling. Yeah, no, we ain't slowing it down. Let's go. We ain't slowing down, baby. Come and show me how. Gotta do it right now. You know you gotta hold me down. Can I let the moment pass? Good things they never last. Pull up in a whip, you know I had to hit the gas. Yeah, that's premium. Pull up with a team and I'm ain't worried about the other side. They know that they ain't beating. I'm on everything I love. Work to the man above. Keep it cool, calm, collected. At this point, you get the message. Life is hectic, but we gotta keep it rolling. No, gotta keep it moving like we stole it. Though, rolling with the punches, giving hits like we are Interscope. Even though I'm clocking, punching in, I'm independent though. Staying prayed up, ain't nothing gon' phase us. Ain't never gon' let a lame say what they just made up. I never take a pay cut, we getting what we worth in. I never change the blueprint cause we know it's really working. Keep on moving, we keep on moving along. Keep it moving, keep it rolling. No, we ain't slowing it down. Never slowing down, never moving. We keep on moving along. Keep it moving, keep it rolling. No, we ain't slowing it down. Never gonna lose it. Cause we in it for the movement. If I'm lying, then I'm flying. Don't play into their amusement. If we trying, we ain't dying. Never sleep, never sleep, never. The moment that you rest your head, they think they can compete. If you gotta skip steps, then the plan is not complete. Get your reps in, get your reps in, get your. Never rest on a past success. You gotta love what you do if you tryna be the best. Keep on moving, we keep on moving along. Keep it moving, keep it rolling. We ain't slowing it down. Never slowing down, never moving. We keep on moving along. Keep it moving, keep it rolling. Keep it rolling, keep it moving. We ain't never gonna lose it.
Who's been to Epstein Island, mate? Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever and whatever you're doing in the world. I hope you are well. I hope you're having a really nice day. I hope it's been a great day. And at last, we've had some rain. Yes, it feels like a normal day today. Bit cloudy at the beginning. It was pouring down the rain, obviously. And no doubt, they'll be saying we're going to have flash floods next. You know what I mean? Because the drains aren't being cleared. And they've built everywhere, so it's all concrete, and the ground is solid because of all the sunshine and warm weather we've had. So when the rain falls on it, it will just run straight off, and it won't be able to run down the drains because most of them are all blocked because they don't clean them. Yes, that's how it is, isn't it? That's how they do it, you know what I mean? They've had all summer, really nice weather. They could have sent people out, if they had the money, of course, but they're too busy spending that on other things, more important things, you know, like getting ready for war and funding other people's wars and illegal immigration and paying for their lifestyle to be great over here and all that. So, yeah. Don't worry about when the rain just floods everywhere, because when it finally starts to rain properly, because it's not climate change, mate. It's not climate change. They just don't clean the drains, that's all. And they build in all the floodplains, so it's got nowhere to go. Anyway, enough of me ranting about the weather, although it's been lovely today. It was nice and cool, and it was nice and rain. I loved it. I loved seeing the rain. I'd never thought I'd hear myself saying that, I've got to be honest. Who's here? Too Shy is here, everyone. Yes. And the wonderful, marvellous, the old wine drinker you. Cheers, everybody, and cheers, Beth Yish. Oh, yes, I'm working. I'm gonna have a busy... I've been working all day. Again. I've launched another business. Another business of mine has just launched today, so that's good. Oh yeah, we'll see with the potential of this one. I can't tell you what it is, obviously. People, I keep getting X every time I go on X. Well, I don't even go on it anymore. So what happens is, X bans me, right? Because somebody's reported me, and then I send in a thing to say, what do they call it when you send it in? My brain's gone. What do they call that? An appeal. saying, no, you've made a mistake. It's nothing, I've not even... And so then they open the account again, and then a couple of hours later they suspend it again for some violations, right? And now I don't even go on X, really, right? I keep sending off the appeals every time they ban it, and then they open it, and I don't go on X, and then 2 hours later they say I've done something, and they ban it again. So I can't tell you about my businesses. That's the point of it, because if there is somebody being malicious to me, which I wouldn't be surprised about for whatever reason, I don't want them to be malicious to my businesses, because that's more important than my Facebook account. Anyway, where are we today in the weird world of madness? Gets really strange. Yes, oh, good. Fraud probe. Police chief among 4 arrested in fraud and bribery probe as corruption squad swoops on cop HQ. Well, what's going on here then? Hello. You know what I mean? Fraud probe police chief. The police chief, have they been arrested? Who is this? Who are the 4 others? Let us delve in and have a look. If you're new here, if you've only just sort of got here, it is just what it is. It's like nothing too serious. You know what I mean? We talk about the end of the world. We talk about the fake things that have gone on in the past. We don't talk about that in detail because you can't on here, can you? No, you can't do it. No. So anyway, let's have a look at this. We just have a look at the news. You know what I mean? Just for a laugh, really. Something to do. The leader of the Rank and File Police Federation Staff Association was one of 4 senior officials arrested today. Tut. City of London police investigating allegations of fraud and bribery swooped on the Fed's offices at Leatherhead, Surrey, this morning.
What?
Yeah, the police. This is the police, isn't it? What's going on? National Chair Tiff Lynch, a serving Leicestershire officer, was arrested along with the Fed's General Secretary, John Partington, a Met cop. It's understood that a senior female lawyer and a male financial executive working for the Federation, which represents 145,000 officers in England and Wales, were also held during the raid. The arrests were described as a significant development in the city police probe into the Fed's former CEO, Mukund Krishna. Yeah, good old British name, that, isn't it? Who was paid more than £700,000 a year with bonuses. That's a result, isn't it? That's a nice little job. The men were all arrested at their homes and bailed. Former management consultant, Mr. Mukund, later had his contract terminated. He has denied any wrongdoing. City of London police confirmed they had made further arrests today, but declined to name the individuals held under normal protocols. The force said in a statement, the City of London Police Domestic Corruption Unit, DCU, have today made 4 further arrests in relation to an ongoing investigation involving the Police Federation of England and Wales. The arrests are the latest development in a significant investigation into allegations of fraud and bribery. Well, who'd have thought the police and people in the police were exposed to fraud and bribery? You know what I mean? And then you get all them are being blackmailed, don't you? They get all the ones that aren't necessarily police, but they might be higher up. Who's been to Epstein Island, mate? Everyone! Oh, yeah, that's right. Everyone's been there, haven't they? You know, a bit of blackmail, which goes down really well. On Tuesday, the latest development was carried out earlier. The arrests and the latest development was significant fraud and bribery. Following 3 arrests carried out earlier this year, March 2026. On Tuesday, they're all going to start grassing now, you see. You know what I mean? They'll all start grassing on each other. Because if they have done something, you know they're going to fold under questioning, don't you? Especially when they go, well, look, you're getting some proper bird here, which they probably won't. And if they do, with our government, or the government before, or whoever is in charge at the time, they'll probably be released really, really early anyway, because there's so many people putting really nasty, hate speechy sort of Facebook tweets, messages out there. And you can't have that now, can you? Gun! How you doing, Gun? Good to see you. Gun is here, everyone. Oh, yeah. On Tuesday, the 18th of August, DCU officers arrested 4 people at an address in Leatherhead, Surrey, as part of an investigation into suspected fraud and bribery offences. Those arrested were 2 men aged in their 40s and 50s and 2 women in their 50s. Interesting. 2 of the individuals are serving police officers. They were all taken to the police station where they will be questioned in due course. It is understood city cops searched offices and seized computers and phones during the swoop today. Detective Superintendent Jim Hackett of the City of London Police Domestic Corruption Unit said, "Our investigation continues to make significant progress with officers working through a number of lines of inquiry to establish the full facts and circumstances surrounding this case. We would like to thank everyone who has already come forward with information. This has been a valuable and continuous to play an important role in helping us move our inquiries forward. This remains a complex and high-profile investigation, and we recognise the public and media interest in it." Yes, I wonder what they've done. If they've done anything at all, that is, of course. You know what I mean? Innocent till proven guilty. You know, and all that. Is that really a thing now? I don't know. I don't know if they still do that. Probably not. And yeah, so we've been talking about yesterday, for those of you that were here yesterday, might have come across this weird stream and said hello or whatever. Well, you probably didn't say hello, did you? You just probably come across it and thought, what's this all about? Oh, I can't be doing with this. And then went. Never mind. But we were talking about yesterday, we were actually talking about, what was it we were talking about? Oh yeah, the war and our involvement in it. And Moscow's response to the way things are going. Well, I saw this today and I thought this was quite relevant to it all as well. Moscow's fuel stations limit sales amid shortages. Why is that relevant, Gaz? Why, you may ask, you probably ain't asking. But why is it relevant? Well, I think it's relevant because when you impact the people of a nation, that sways in their opinion. You know what I mean? So if you're going to start now, if the people in Russia are going to start being restricted on the fuel they can have, I'd have thought this would make them more inclined to push their government and their leaders into some sort of action to stop this happening. Would you? I'd have thought that could be a thing. But we'll see. Anyway, well, look. Fuel stations in Moscow have reimposed limits on gasoline purchases due to fuel shortages linked to Ukrainian drone attacks on refineries and strong seasonal demand, according to Reuters, witnesses and fuel suppliers. Shortages... Why have I got a problem saying shortages? Shortages. It's a fucking weird word, isn't it? Shortages. Shortages. Oh, that's going to become like a tick. Shortages. Shortages began to gather pace in May and had spread to most Russian regions by July. But fuel stations in Moscow were able to ease an earlier wave of restrictions in June. Oh God, I flicked that too far. Ukraine has targeted Russian oil refineries in an effort to undermine Moscow's war effort and reduce energy revenues. To boost domestic supplies, Russian authorities have banned exports of gasoline and diesel, eased fuel quantity requirements and began importing petroleum products. Reuters witnesses also saw long queues at some filling stations in Moscow and the surrounding region. A customer hotline operator at Gazprom Neft said gasoline and diesel sales at the company's automated filling stations in Moscow were limited to 40 litres per customer. At Gazprom Neft's other filling stations, diesel sales remain unrestricted, while gasoline purchases are capped at 60 litres per vehicle. Rosneft, Russia's largest oil producer, said gasoline sales at all of its filling stations across Russia were limited to 30 litres per vehicle, while diesel sales faced no restrictions. The company also warned customers of longer waiting times because of heightened demand. Lukoil said it had introduced fuel sale restrictions in Moscow and the surrounding region because of elevated demand unscheduled refinery maintenance, and the need to ensure stable operations at its filling stations. It did not disclose the specific limits. Tatnet's customer hotline said gasoline sales at its filling stations were limited to 50 litres per vehicle. So yeah, so the thing is, if they're going to keep hitting their refineries, and if it is a big part of it, the reason that they're going to run out of some sort of fuel, or they're going to ration it, and then that starts putting, obviously it's going to put a drain on their economy. It's going to cause disruption to people everywhere, all over there. It might force more of an issue with them extending their military operations beyond the Ukraine. You never know. I mean, at this point, anything could happen. It's getting very, very tense over there by all accounts. And I saw this. I don't know. Some of you might have an insight into this. I'm not really sure what I make of it, to be honest. I'm not really sure what I make of it. I don't know, but we'll have a look and we'll have a chat about it. Trump says he plans to meet with North Korea's Kim Jong Un. Washington. US President Donald Trump said Wednesday that he planned to meet with North Korean leader Kim Jong Un, and said the Asian nation held 57 very powerful nuclear weapons. Why is he going to meet Kim Jong Un? Is Kim Jong Un been saying stuff like making threats, or, you know, I'm speculating obviously, but why is he going over there to have a chat with him? And I think recently they just did the Americanos and the South Koreans just did a military things together, and then Trump called it all off. So I don't know if Kim Jong Un has had his nose put out of joint and started spitting his dummy out and having a go at Trump, saying like, "Look here, mate, this is unacceptable. We might kick off." I don't know. I don't know. What do you make of it? What do you think is going on here? The remarks came as Trump ordered Pentagon officials to cut short joint exercises with the South Korean military, writing in a Sunday social media post that they sent a message to Pyongyang that was totally inappropriate and hostile to a country that, as long as Donald J. Trump has been president, has been unthreatening and respectful. So it seems like Kim, and he's not a man to mess about with by all accounts, if he's got 57 nuclear weapons that they know of. Hey, you know what I mean? No, Donald Trump ain't just bombing him, is he? You know what I mean? It don't happen, does it? When they've got, like, when they can retaliate with severe consequences. You just ain't going to see it. You ain't going to see no surprise attack, I don't think, by the Americanos under Trumpster. No, it's just not going to happen. During Trump's first term, Kim called Trump a mental deranged US dotard. Kind of kind, really, if you ask me, at this point. And threatened that he had use of a nuclear button on his desk. The leaders' relationship cooled after face-to-face meetings in 2018 and 2019, including a brief exchange at the demilitarized zone between the Koreas, in which Trump became the first sitting US president to step into North Korea territory. I was impressed by that at the time. I was thoroughly impressed by that at the time when he went over the border, because he was in Korea. He was in North Korea. That was it. They could have done anything, realistically. You know what I mean? He was in their country, and when he stepped out, I thought it was quite impressive. Now I don't know so much, because now I don't see the Trumpster as I used to. Nothing like. Who's been to Epstein's Island, mate? Everyone! I'm a bit concerned about it all, you see. I'm a bit worried about the whole implications of the Trumpster and the way he's sort of turned on everything that he said that he was going to do. And he's doing all of it. It seems to be at least the opposite at this point. And there's no, with Iran, what's the get out? What's the end result of all of this? There's still no answers, is there? Nowhere. It's just insane still. I know Kim Jong Un very well, and he's going to be fine as long as we have a smart president, Trump told reporters Wednesday during a tour of the helipad he's constructing on the White House's historic South Lawn. He likes building stuff, don't I? I suppose that was the game he was in, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Construction because of his dad. The fact that I get along with him, they've put hats. They've wrote hats there. Who writes this? That's a good thing, not a bad thing. He has 57 very powerful nuclear weapons, Trump said. They should have never allowed it. If I were president, I wouldn't have allowed it. But he's got them. How would you have not allowed it? Like you've beat Iran. You know what I mean? Is that what you're saying? Like the way you've finished, you know, you've won the war with Iran. Unbelievable. He does talk a good fight, doesn't he, old Trump? There have been varying estimates by experts over the years on how many nuclear weapons North Korea has. In June, the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute estimated that North Korea has possibly assembled around 60 warheads, possesses enough fissile material to produce at least 30 more. But they don't know, do they? They don't know what North Korea's got. No, I don't suppose that. No, they how can they? They can't even speculate that, in my opinion. They can only guess. It's only a guess, isn't it? They could have loads. They might not have any. Who knows at this point? Who knows? And so why has he gone there though? Why has he suddenly he's going to have a meeting with him? You know what I mean? I don't know. I think it's all tilting on the edge, me, for war. I really do. I really do think something about any moment, something's going to really kick off. I'd be surprised. I'm surprised it hasn't already. To be fair, to be perfectly honest, I'm surprised it hasn't already. What's the next one? Sort of still military thinged, you know, especially with the Americanos. But this must have been awful. US Navy destroyer spent 4 days without toilets, air conditioning, gallery after power failure in South China Sea. Oh, that must have been disgusting.
What?
I know. Can you imagine it? I don't know how many's on there. I haven't read the article. I just saw it briefly and I thought, the first thing that came to my mind when I saw that, 4 days without toilet. I think there's about 500 people on there. Right? 500. You imagine 500 people. Right? I know what I do when I wake up in the morning. One of the very first things I do, you know, is one of them necessities in your life that you have to do, right? And I'll do that very early in the morning. I'm not up long, and I'm like, oh, skip to me loo, right? 500 people waking up in the morning, and the toilets are broke for 4 days. For 4 days. I mean, what must it have been like on there? Anyway, we'll read the article. These are supposed to be, and the Americanos, they're supposed to be like the main player in the world, aren't they, of everything? You know what I mean? And they're having trouble with a lot of these ships, aren't they, at the minute? A US Navy-guided missile destroyer spent 4 days without working toilets, gallery services, air conditioning, and some portable water facilities after an engineering failure knocked out power aboard the ship in the South China Sea last month, according to a report by CNN. The USS Benfold, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, suffered an engineering casualty involving its generators on July 24th while conducting routine operations in the Indo-Pacific. US 7th Fleet spokesperson Commander Matthew Corma told CNN the Navy said there were no injuries among the crew, unless they were going to the toilet. And even the other thing didn't work. The galley, isn't that where they get their dinner and all their food, and the water as well? 4 days of that. Can you imagine it with 500 people? That's gross, mate. That must have been awful. Oh, what's this video? There's a video. Hang on, let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this, shall we? I ain't seen this. What's this bit then?
Days after a reported brawl erupted aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, the U.S. Navy has replaced the battle-worn supercarrier deployed in Iran's backyard. According to the Military Watch magazine website, the USS George Washington is now being sent toward the Middle East to relieve the Lincoln, whose deployment was extended amid the war against Iran. Pentagon's move temporarily leaves the Western Pacific without an American aircraft carrier, despite over 15 years of the U.S. Navy's efforts to prioritize the region as a counter to Chinese dominance. The USS George Washington's withdrawal from the Pacific is nevertheless a powerful symbol of something that has become increasingly difficult for Washington to conceal, the report added. Washington had planned that the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan would wind down, helping it to redirect military attention and resources against China and the North Korea in the Pacific.
You know, I've got to interrupt these things because of Google. Well, it is Google and it's YouTube. Because of the copyright stuff, you have to sort of have a little conversation in between. I don't know what this is. Well, it's quite insightful, actually, isn't it? So we'll continue. I will obviously have to interrupt it, especially if I find something worth interrupting it for. That's more the point, isn't it?
But the transition could not fully occur due to the overthrow of the Ukrainian government in 2014, Washington's involvement in 2015 Syrian war, and the Russia-Ukraine war that began in 2022. The U.S. strikes on Iran from February 28th stretched American resources, forcing assets from aircraft carrier groups to anti-ballistic missile systems to be withdrawn from East Asia in considerable numbers. For decades, the presence of an aircraft carrier in the Western Pacific served both an operational and political purpose. It demonstrates that the United States possesses the ability to rapidly generate air power in the region, while reassuring strategic partners that U.S. forces are physically present.
It reinforces. Yeah, but I don't think the allies around Iran are very impressed with the Americanos' way of dealing with all this at the minute, are they? They can't be, can they? All the American bases have been destroyed, haven't they? I think. As far as I've been seeing, the Americans have been pushed out all over it. They've been pushed back everywhere. And so, how are the Allies seeing these as like some sort of saviour at this point? I'm sure I wouldn't. And look at the money they spend on war. Look at the money. The absolute colossal. The world has got so many things upside down when it comes to money and war. It's sad, really, isn't it? Don't you think? I find it very sad that that money has to be spent on mass destruction when it can be put to much better use for people in general. But I'm not in charge, so nothing I can do about it.
Military Watch magazine website report added. The USS Abraham Lincoln's exceptionally long period at sea to support operations against Iran have created mounting concerns about the strain on its crew and the sustainability of such deployments. Pentagon has reportedly acknowledged that the strain is taking a toll on the crew of the USS Abraham Lincoln.
"266 days at sea, and now the Pentagon is reportedly acknowledging that the strain is taking a toll on the crew of the USS Abraham Lincoln. The U.S. Navy aircraft carrier has been deployed for months, and officials now say sailors are dealing with a range of challenges."
And didn't Trump say that he was like, they ain't been out there long enough? They ain't been out there long enough. That's what Trump said, wasn't it? Why don't somebody send him on one of them ships? Especially when the toilets break down. I bet he'd love it, wouldn't he? He wouldn't be able to wash his hair or nothing, would he? That hair. Anyway, missing the subject. I shouldn't talk about people's hair, really, should I? You know what I mean? Pot, kettle and all that. But yeah, he was actually saying they should have been out there longer. You're not going to get the truth from what's going on, you know, for why these things are supposedly breaking down. I mean, have they been hit by a missile? Have they been sabotaged? You don't know. They won't tell you. They will never tell you. You know what I mean? 150 years' time, that when the files that are all locked away now are all released, then there'll be probably some historian might come over it and go, oh yeah, look back then when the government was saying that and it worked. All that was lies. That was just a big smoke screen to cover up all the colossal failures.
As the ship remains away from home. According to the Pentagon, a small number of crew members have faced mental health cases during the deployment. Officials have also acknowledged that meals have been adjusted because of limited access to fresh supplies, another consequence of spending such an extended period at sea.
I saw a picture of the meals they've been getting. I don't know if you ever saw it on anywhere online. It was horrendous. Honestly, it weren't even prison food. It was horrendous. Horrendous.
For sailors aboard the Abraham Lincoln, the long deployment has also meant limited opportunities to call home. Officials say communication with families has been restricted, adding another layer of pressure for a crew that has spent more than 8 months away from home.
8 months.
But the Pentagon is pushing back against reports portraying conditions aboard the carrier as deteriorating dramatically. Acting Secretary of the Navy, Hung Kao, says reports about
Hung Kao. You what, racist? No. It's just look his name, isn't it? Hung Kao. Hung Kao. Hung Kao. All right, Hun? All right, Mr. Cow.
Acting Secretary of the Navy, Hung Kao, says reports about worsening conditions have been twisted into a false narrative. Kao's comments come as scrutiny grows over the length and demands of the carrier's deployment.
One of them DEIs, isn't it, on the right? Is it? Do you reckon? DEI? Is that what they call it? Is it called DEI? When they get these things, you know what I mean? Like that university lecturer or professor that we had just recently. He ran what? He ran 35 marathons in 35 days or something. And he ran, Walter Mitty, somewhat.
The Abraham Lincoln has remained at sea for 266 days, making the prolonged deployment a major test for both the ship and its crew. Despite the challenges acknowledged by officials, the Navy maintains that the situation is being managed and that sailors continue carrying out their mission. Now, after months away from home, the crew is finally approaching the end of the deployment. Officials say the Abraham Lincoln is expected to be homeward bound soon. For the sailors aboard the carrier, that means the long wait for home and a return to their families may finally be coming to an end.
And I wonder if anything comes out then about it all. I wonder if anybody whistleblows. I doubt it. They must have to sign, mustn't they, secrecy acts and all that stuff. But apparently there was sailors were jumping overboard. You know what I mean? They were apparently several sailors were just jumped off the ship. I don't know if it's this one. You know, this whatever it's called, Lincoln, whatever it's called. But apparently, that's allegedly, yeah, they've been jumping off the ship. How bad has it got to be?
The crisis aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln may be far bigger than one aircraft carrier. New accounts shared with Midas Touch from military families and service members across multiple ships and even from troops stationed on land describe worsening shortages, broken facilities, extreme exhaustion, and growing mental health concerns.
Shit.
The sources, who were kept anonymous because of fears of retaliation, say the problems are spreading as deployments continue with little relief. One active duty service member deployed alongside the Lincoln told Midas Touch that reports about the carrier are genuine and that their own ship is facing similar problems.
Wow.
They said their crew is entering its 6th month at sea without seeing land because of the Iran conflict, warning that conditions could deteriorate.
Hang on. It's not because of the Iran conflict. It's because the supreme leader, Donald Trump, right, instigated with Netanyahu, the Israelis, an illegal attack on Iran.
The Führer couldn't have said it better himself.
It's true, though. It's true. That's the whole reason. I mean, there must be so much resentment. And nobody knows why. Realistically, why did they attack them? Tell me in the comments if you've got an idea why. I'd love to know. Nazulium is here, everybody. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Yeah, what's the end result of all of this? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, what is it? It's just costing, I can't remember the amount. It's a lot of money every day, this Iran thing for the Americanos, just to have all this. And could you imagine the morale of these people, I don't know what you call them, military personnel or what, Navy, whatever, I don't know how you describe as a group, you know. The forces, I suppose. The morale must be horrendous. It must be awful. It's got to be horrible, isn't it? It seems to be getting worse as we go along, that's for sure.
Further. A parent of a sailor who spent 11 months.
There's a picture of the food. Look at the food. I mean, that is unbelievable. That is unbelievable, isn't it? It is, isn't it? It's unbelievable. That is the food. That is the picture of the food. You would be, you don't, and they don't know. Don't get me wrong. They don't know when they're going to be allowed back. They're not told nothing. Imagine having that put in front of you, and you've been away for months and months. Apparently, on these ships as well, they have is it commissary, so you can buy your own luxuries, and even that they're running out of all that stuff as well. Well, it's not even. Beth Gish says dog food. You wouldn't give that to a dog. You wouldn't give that to a dog. You wouldn't. It's getting bad, isn't it?
Aboard the Lincoln described conditions that became increasingly severe. The ship's water system reportedly failed early in the deployment, preventing sailors from showering or washing clothes. Even after repairs, showers were rationed, while repeated supply shortages worsened when resupply vessels could not reach the carrier. The parents said overflowing toilets eventually left around 6 inches of human waste covering restroom floors used by roughly 200 sailors.
6 inches of human waste. 6 inches. 6 inches, right? That deep in human waste. Let that sink in. And that's your dinner. And that's what you're wandering around in. You'd be thinking, what the fuck did I join this fucking bunch of cretins for? See the world. We want the best. And this is how they treat them. It's horrific. This is horrendous, isn't it?
The reports extend beyond the Lincoln. A message concerning a sailor aboard the USS George H.W. Bush said the crew had spent 136 days at sea with virtually no food, water, or soap, leaving morale extremely low.
Beth Gish sounds like a migrant hotel, she says. That migrant hotels are far, far better than that, mate. 4-star hotels. All buffet. You're not seeing them. You're not seeing that where they put them. And the food that they lay out from every day. And the taxi services and the dental care and the... No, these illegals are getting far better treated than these people. And that is shocking in itself.
Another family member described a son stationed in Kuwait whose mental health had deteriorated dramatically. The message said he was exhausted, hungry, and frightened, and desperately wanted to return home. A Lincoln sailor's wife separately told Midas Touch that her husband said the crew desperately needed people to speak out. According to her, sailors are being told to focus only on today rather than expect updates. She said crews are working without proper days off and surviving on just a few hours of sleep. Her husband reportedly believes leadership is failing the crew, while sailors with more than 20 decades of service have called it the worst deployment they have experienced.
You got to ask yourself a question. Well, I've got to ask myself a question when I see this. Is it because of the DEI arrangement? You know, when people are getting hired, not because of their abilities. Not because of their abilities and their skills. You know what I mean? In leadership. They're ticking boxes. So they're giving people positions of authority that aren't suitable for the position. And shit like this is what's going to happen if that's in fact the case. If that is the case, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't care what somebody is, where they're from, blah, 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 blah. When it comes to employment, you should have the best person for the job. That's how it should be done. Especially in these sorts of roles. You know, you need the very best running this. Because if you don't get the very best running this is exactly what is going to fucking happen. And that goes across from not just the military, but a country in itself. When you're giving people high value jobs that need great skills, right? But they're getting the jobs not based on their experience and their ability to do the job, but to be actually tick a box or boxes for the diversity and inclusivity and all that shit, right? This is going to be the outcome for not just these, but for whole countries, companies, everything. Everything is affected by it. It's mental. It's mental illness. There is literally massive mental illness in the world now. I don't know when it started, and I don't know what caused it. And I don't know why it's continuing. But it seems to me like everybody pretty much is fucking loopy. Loopy loo. And if you think you're not one of them, I'm going to ask you one simple question. When you walked around a supermarket back in the days of COVID, did you put a little mask on? Did you ever wear one of them little surgeon splash guards on your face? Because if you did, you're probably a mentalist. Do you know what I mean? Controversial, I know, but true. True all the same. Anyway, we continue.
Taken together with reporting from Military Times, Stars and Stripes, and MS Now, the accounts point to a broader crisis involving exhausted personnel, strained infrastructure, dwindling supplies, prolonged deployments, and families who say their concerns are not being heard.
Mental. Oh, that little article was very interesting, wasn't it? Yes, it was. So we'll continue with the rest of the article, even though I weren't expecting that video. What is Gunn saying? Did 12 months in the bush in Angola in the 80s. Ain't nothing some days. War is a bitch. You've been in a war. You a soldiery bloke, Gunn. Are you one of them soldiery blokes, are you? That's interesting to know. What was you in? Just out of interest. Anyway, yeah, not my cup of tea. All that getting shouted at, and not my cup of tea. And especially now, I mean, I bet you wouldn't volunteer now, would you? If you had to fight for this country now, would you do it? Would you do it? I bet you wouldn't. What happened about USS Benfold? The power loss affected several essential services aboard the nearly 10,000-ton warship, including its toilets, galley, air conditioning, and portable water. The incident also affected the ship's ability to manoeuvre independently, according to the Navy. This is a different ship. This is a smaller one. So there's lots of ships having problems in the Americano fleet, by the sounds of it. The exact cause of the failure remains under investigation. I bet it does. The incident was first reported by USNI News. The Benfold was eventually taken to Subic Bay in the Philippines for repairs. The Navy said repairs were completed by August the 8th and that the destroyer subsequently returned to duty. The Benfold was not left entirely without support during the incident. The guided missile cruiser USS Robert Smalls provided cooked meals, while other vessels from the Japan-based USS George Washington carrier strike group also assisted the destroyer during the 4-day outage according to the 7th Fleet. SADF, infantry, and hell no. There you go. Well done, mate. The incident occurred in the South China Sea late in July, when daytime temperatures typically range between 32 and 37 degrees, making the loss of air conditioning particularly difficult for the crew. 4 days of that. In a metal boat. Oh, covered in shit. Oh, former US Navy Captain Carl Schuster, who previously experienced a much shorter power loss aboard a destroyer, told CNN that the situation would have placed different pressures on the crew, from engineering working to restore power to navigation officers dealing with the ship's position and weather. Second USS destroyer power failure this year. The Benfold incident is the second reported power-related failure involving a US Navy destroyer in the Indo-Pacific this year. In May, the USS Higgins lost power and propulsion for several hours in the region after what the Navy described as an electrical system engineering casualty. The incident left the destroyer, which had about 300 crew members, temporarily unable to manoeuvre, CNN reported. The Benfold and Higgins, along with the Arleigh Burke class, the backbone of the US Navy's surface fleet, which has more than 70 destroyers in service. Incident comes amid wider strain on US Navy. The Benfold's breakdown comes as the US Navy faces growing scrutiny over the demands placed on its ships and crews by the prolonged war with Iran, illegal war, with Iran, and commitments across multiple regions. The USS Abraham Lincoln has been at sea for an unusually long deployment while conducting operations against Iran. Reports have raised concerns about conditions aboard the carrier, including the crew welfare, supplies and mental health, although Pentagon and Navy officials have disputed some of the claims. Of course they have. The Navy is now preparing to send the USS George Washington from the Western Pacific to the Middle East to replace the Lincoln. That move is expected to temporarily leave the Western Pacific without a US aircraft carrier. The carrier redeployment has raised concerns about the strategic consequences for the Indo-Pacific. The Washington's departure would temporarily move the US Navy's most visible symbol of military power from the Western Pacific at a time when China has been increasing activity around disputed areas. Unbelievable. Who we got here? Rodders! I can't play music, mate. I can't. It's YouTube. How you doing, Rodders? Good to see you, mate. And Andrea, how are you doing, Andrea? Good to see you. Hope you're well. And yes, Andrea. Don't be jealous. I'm having a glass of wine or two. Yes. Oh yeah, you know it makes sense. Yeah. So they're losing their. The Yank, mate, I'm not being... That was another thing. Is there any Americanos in here? I think Nazulium's an Americano. I've got a question. Why do we call you Yanks? I was doing a eve of wedding party and there were some Americans come over and I meant to ask them, why are you called Yanks? Americans, I don't understand that. I mean, we get called Brits because British, right? But why Yanks? I'd love to know. I don't know why. Anyway, and I'd rather hear it from a Yank rather than from AI, to be fair. Even though the AI, I suppose, are Yanks at this point, aren't they? You know what I mean? I suppose they are.
What?
Well, they're made in America mostly, aren't they? You know what I mean? It's an American thing, isn't it? AI and, destruction of the world. It's definitely an American thing. Anyway. Yeah, so it's looking very fraught, isn't it, for the Americanos with this Iran? They made a right mistake there. Trump is useless, really. Honestly, do any of you rebels called them Yankees? We yanked America away from Brit control. We yanked the Yanks. Yeah, well, yeah, that makes sense. That's brilliant. Oh yeah. Oh dear, I don't know if that's true, but if you're an American and that's what you're saying, I'll buy it. That's good. What was I saying? Yeah, who thinks... Does anybody think that Trump's doing a decent job with all this at the moment? Especially those in Americano land. I mean, you're the most important ones to ask. I certainly don't. I think he's absolutely lost the plot. I think, personally, they've got something on him. Massive. Who's in the Epstein files, mate? Everyone! Oh, yeah, everyone. Remember they were going to release all the Epstein files, and it was like, no, we're not doing that. Once they realised they were all fucking in it. Anyway, what have we got? So, back to the UK now. Back to old Blighty. We got this one. UK's Burnham tells Times number 10 North to take economic growth role from Treasury. I should have done a much better job of that, shouldn't I? I think the wine's hitting me at the moment. UK's Burnham tells Times number 10 North to take economic growth role from Treasury. That's what I was trying to say. That's exactly what I was trying to say. So what's this about? British Prime Minister Andy Burnham told the Times on Tuesday that number 10 North, the regional government hub, it's fucking brilliant, isn't it, will take over responsibility for economic growth from the Treasury as part of a transfer of power out of Whitehall. I wonder why they're doing that. I wonder why they're trying to draw the power out of Whitehall and then control it. Do you know what I think it is? I think it's because they need to up the budget for the war that they're planning. The war with the Russians. Yes, I think that is exactly what's going on. I'm reading a book at the minute, and it's about Hitler and the Second World War and all that, right? It's the run-up to World War II, right, this book, by Irving Levine, or something like that, his name is, I can't remember. Anyway, great book, brilliant book, right, I've nearly finished it. And in that, Hitler knew what he was going to do ages before he did it. Ages. Before he started doing what he was doing, he was making plans long before. And that's what I think they're doing here. That's what I think they're doing in this country and probably most of Europe. They're planning this now. They've got a date where they want to get ready so they can get to it with Russia. I don't think Russia's going to wait, me personally. I think Russia's going to be had enough at some point and go, right, fuck you lot, boom, 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 make a right impact somewhere, just to say, right, carry on, and we're going to really go for you. Just to stamp on it all. If they don't, then I think Europe and Britain and NATO will just build up ready, and then it'll just kick off then. It's definitely inevitable in my eyes. In my eyes, World War III, or that side of it with Russia, is inevitable. It's inevitable at this point. It's just when. It's not if, it's when. And it's whether the Russians can see it, because if I can, I'm sure they can, and whether they're going to preemptive it, do the preemptive one, because they've got enough reason to. Anyway, we'll get into it. So this makes me sceptical about this. Why are they moving the money, the Treasury? Burnham in July opened the new government base in northern England in a shift away from what he said was decades of economic decision making centred in London. So they're taking the decision making out of there, because obviously there's going to be things they won't want nobody to know. I think that's what I think. It's actually a huge... See, if you look at it in that context, if that is actually the case, I'm not saying it definitely is, but if that is, you can see now why Starmer went and why he's been brought in. Because this would have all been prearranged. The new number 10 of the North and all this. This would already be strategically laid out. Not by these people, but by the real people in charge. And that's why, because it was like, why is Starmer... They're swapping this guy for this guy. We're all sort of going... There's no real change there. What's this about? Nobody likes Starmer, but I don't think many people like Burnham either, right? So now you can see what they're doing. So Burnham's come in, no mandate. He's come in, and now they've got they've got number 10 North. Now they're moving the Treasury out of Whitehall up to North, right? Number 10 North. Why? So prying eyes, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. But it may be. It's actually a huge transfer of power, Burnham told the newspaper in an interview. It's something that the country has never cracked before. I don't wish to sound, you know, a criticism or negative about the Treasury, he added. The Prime Minister, who took office less than a month ago, has previously described the base in Manchester as being the situation room for making Britain better. Where else do you get a situation room? The place we use to get power out of Westminster into the hands of people at a local level so they can turn things around. Burnham also told the Times that British Finance Minister... now the new British Finance Minister is that John Healey. Now, John Healey, if you remember, was the one that resigned because he didn't get the military budget from Starmer. Now he's in charge of the Treasury. Do you see it now? John Healey supported the approach and would outline the government's economic strategy in a major speech next month. So we'll see what the military spending is going to look like, if they're going to be honest about it. And a 10-year plan of economic and constitutional reforms would be published after the budget. Harley will hold his first budget on October the 28th. So that's going to be interesting to see, because we had Rachel from accounts. So all that's going to be tore up. So all that was a waste of time and money, right? All of it was just a fucking waste of time and money. I'm running out of time here. Right, I'll just do this one quickly then. I'll do it because it's all relative, right? This is Burnham again. So this is what we got. Andy Burnham's man of the people image in doubt over lavish freebies. Not a good look. Another one that appears to have his nose in the trough. Why wouldn't he? They all do, don't they? Right? Look at this. Andy Burnham has been at pains to prove that he is different. A different Prime Minister who will do things differently from those who have gone before him. Not only that, his carefully curated image as a man of the people is designed to help him relate to parts of the electorate that others cannot. And his big push this summer has been to erase the cost of living as millions of families grapple with soaring bills. So it's not a good look to find that Mr Burnham accepted £345,000 of donation and freebies in the last 12 months. Can't make it up, can you? In his former role as Manchester Mayor, he accepted 2 tickets worth £3,800 to attend the Brit Awards from Sony Music. 2 tickets worth £500 to Aintree Racecourse and 4 tickets to last year's Glastonbury Festival. The donations listed on the most recent version of the MP's Register of Interests, blah, 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 blah. They're fucking all at it, aren't they? They all do it. They all do it and they'll never stop doing it. 300 odd thousand, fucking loads in 12 months. Donations and freebies. Lovely little job, isn't it? They all end up going out of there millionaires, don't they? All of them. And then we get this. Right? Jump in energy bills drives UK inflation to highest rate for 4 months. And then so this is what we have to live with, right? Higher energy bills drove up inflation to 2.9% in the year to July, the highest level in 4 months according to new figures. Gas prices soared to the sharpest pace in blah, 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 blah. It's all bollocks. We're all getting shit on, basically. That's basically what that is, to be honest. I ain't got time to get into it massively. I've run out of time, unfortunately. But I spent too long watching at the Americano's fucking Navy fleet fall to pieces and covered in shit, which it was quite funny in itself, to be fair. And they get PM salary for life. I know, and the pensions and everything. It's unbelievable what they get, mate. Rodders, it's unreal, isn't it? It's unreal. We're supposed to be in charge. You know what I mean? It's a joke. It really is a joke. But I'll be interested to see, because that strikes me now. That they've got the new Chancellor and they're moving the Treasury. And they definitely want war with Russia. There's no question about that. There's no question about that. So, and they're going to need to spend money on military gear to do that. And they've got The other thing is the conscription, because they'll have to do that. They will have to do that. Because who's going to volunteer to go and do... Who's going to do it? I certainly ain't. Anyway, until tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Thank you for watching. If you've managed to get... I'm feeling a bit froggy today. If you managed to get this far, if you can give us a thumbs up and check that you're still subscribed, by the way, because it is unsubscribing people. It's really weird, YouTube. I think I'm shadow banned, because nobody, it's not. I'm not saying my videos are brilliant, because they're not. It's just me having a laugh, really, and having a chat with a few of you. But you'd think I'd get a lot. I would have thought I'd have got a bit more interest in some of these videos, to be fair, for people of like-minded. Like, maybe they're too long. Maybe I like live streaming. I'm not really bothered at making short videos. But and I'm not bothered about the numbers. But it's nice to know people are there. That's all. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Look after yourselves. Until then, stay safe. Don't get lost or killed. All right.
We keep on moving. We keep on moving along. We keep on rolling. No, we ain't slowing it down. We keep on moving. We keep on moving along. We keep on rolling. Yeah. No, we ain't slowing it down. Let's go.
We ain't slowing down, baby. Come and show me how. Gotta do it right now. You know you gotta hold me down. Can I let the moment pass? Good things they never last. Pull up in a whip, you know I had to hit the gas. Yeah, that's premium. Pull up with a team and I ain't worried about the other side. They know that they ain't beating. I'm on everything I love. Work to the man above. Keep it cool, calm, collected. At this point, you get the message. Life is hectic, but we gotta keep it rolling, no. Gotta keep it moving, keep it moving like we stole it, though. Rolling with the punches, giving hits like we are Interscope. Even though I'm clocking, punching in, I'm independent, though. Staying prayed up, ain't nothing gon' phase us. Ain't never gon' let a lame say what they just made up. I never take a pay cut, we getting what we worth in. I never change the blueprint, cause we know it's really working.
Keep on moving.
Moving,
We keep on moving along.
keep it moving, keep it
rolling.
rolling.
No, we ain't slowing it down.
Never slowing down,
Keep
never
on moving.
moving.
We keep on moving along.
keep it moving, keep it
rolling.
rolling.
No, we ain't
Keep it rolling, keep
slowing
it moving,
it
we
down.
ain't never gonna lose it. Cause we in it for the movement. If I'm lying, then I'm flying. Don't play into their amusement. If we trying, we ain't dying. Never sleep, never sleep, never. The moment that you rest your head, they think they can't compete. If you gotta skip steps, then the plan is not complete. Get your reps in, get your reps in, get your. Never rest on a past success. You gotta love what you do if you tryna be the best.
Keep on moving.
Moving,
We keep on moving along.
keep it moving, keep it rolling.
No, we ain't slowing it down.
Never slowing down, never
Moving.
moving.
We keep on moving
Keep it
along.
moving, keep it moving, keep it
rolling.
rolling. Keep it rolling, keep it moving. We ain't never gonna lose it.
Who's been to Epstein Island, mate?